G'day, another day out with Graham Goodson and Russ Keep with Graham's Bleriot. So whilst I was having a cup of tea and Russ was doing a bit of spanner work, I thought I'd fire up the Spitfire. This is first start of the day, so I can't be bothered flick starting stuff. If you're going to buy a starter, buy a Sullivan. This particular one I've got some Megatron, which is running on two 5S 4000 milliamp packs. So here we go. I'll spin this over just with the ignition off and the choke on, and you'll hear it start to speed up in a second. There we go. So it's now got fuel up into the engine. So ignition on, and away she goes. So I'll just let her warm up a bit. Got a fairly coarse prop on it. This model, it's a Menz 20x11. It's got quite a lot of chunk of blade area on it. So now we just run it up. The setting's slightly rich. I could have blended it a tad, but it's good enough. Once it gets going, it's fantastic. This is just a fantastic plane to fly. I love flying. You can't beat the Spitfire. Device there, I got that from the guys at Bad Mac a few years back. You know, where you just stand on the two pedals in the back and then the arms fold down. Good to go, good for single pilot operators. Bit of a busy day. I was mucking around with two Runcam HD cameras plus my Canon, so I haven't quite got all the exposures right. Anyway, this is just a little bit of a test video. Ready to go, and we're rolling. Anyway, then I got a call from Goodson that the Bleriot was ready, so I rejected the takeoff and onto the Bleriot duty. So Russ Keep, his XRFF, he did looked after the rigging, and Graham, being an ex-Navy captain and also an airline captain, when they bark orders, will you come running? And then I realised, hey, I'm a civilian, I don't have to take that. There you go, there's an action replay. So that's a Runcam 2 HD. It's actually a 4K one, but I don't have the right card for it yet, so it's just recording in HD. Anyway, that's the Saito FG200, the petrol 3-cylinder. And it's now got a 17x8 Menz wood on it. Originally had a 16x6, which is sort of what was sold to run the thing in, but the takeoff roll was like about 80 or 90 metres. Now it's off sort of in a very acceptable distance. Anyway, so there you have a wing warper. You won't see them moving all that much. There's just a little bit more rejigging to do on the cables and pulleys on aileron, so it's fairly soft. It's got about a 15% aileron rudder mix, although it did set up a wing warping mix for Graham. So it's a bit soft on aileron, but certainly flying it around it's great. But you really need to be on the rudder with this aeroplane, particularly on landing. If you just cop a bit of a gust, you're just going to be able to pick it up with rudder. But anyway, it's a thing. So I've handed over to Graham, who owns the aeroplane. He's having a bit of a boat around with it. A few steep turns. I had a little bit of just a little test dive just to see if it built up speed, whether we could loop it. But it's still early days. We want to get a few flights on the rigging first before we attempt anything like that. Setting up to land now. I haven't managed to not bounce it yet, so the next one we're just going to fly it in, leave the power set and then wheel it on and then cut the power. So I've managed to do that a few times, and this is standard World War I or pre-World War I sort of operating procedure to drag a tip. hand the transmitter to Graham, he taxied it back, and we shut down for another day, and we'll get back in a week or so for another day. And that was flown, the wind was just starting to get up, so we can call it a day. Once it goes over about 20 kilometres an hour, that's sort of it.